American Airlines can cancel your flight and then not rebook you on something, put you on standby and have you wait at an airport for 24 hours and tell you that the next flight that you can get is in 6 days and not pay for a hotel, not pay for the $100 Ubers. Babe, stop. I just don't understand this. Can someone explain to me how airlines can strand you like this, not pay for anything, and expect you to just go about your life? We are stuck in LaGuardia Airport. We have been here since 7 a.m. They didn't pay for our hotel room. They didn't pay for our food. They didn't pay for our Ubers. They didn't pay for anything. We sat here, waited. Nothing. Closed the gates. Didn't even say anything to anybody. Didn't say, oh, you can get on. Oh, sorry, there were no seats. This is insane. There are so many people sitting around laying at the airport. They just strand people.
American Airlines, you suck dick. You're rude. I had an 8 a.m. flight from New York City to Miami. It was delayed till 4:15. Now I don't know where the fuck I am. Fort Myers, because you didn't have gas to get us to Miami because you had to circle for 10 minutes. And most importantly, not one apology. Not one we're sorry for the inconvenience. Fuck you. All you gotta do is say sorry, give some peanuts, a Diet Coke, some potato chips, and be pleasant. American Airlines, you got me in, I don't know where the fuck I am. Where am I? Fuck you, American Airlines. Fuck you. It's 3 hours from New York to Miami. Been traveling all day, not one apology. Fuck you.
6 hours in a plane in Newark, New Jersey, and we never got off the ground. We're going back to the terminal, and this is the line to get out of the plane. Everything's been canceled. Welcome to modern American air transportation.
Frontier Airlines canceled and repeatedly delayed a flight for over 3 days.
Going to Philly.
Children over here! It takes too long to board y'all. So it's first come, first serve. When you get on that plane, I need you to sit in the first available seat. That's what I'm going to need you to do.
Tell me.
Like I told you.
Tell me what?
What I said.
I'm not listening.
Like I told you.
After countless hours, we were finally boarded. I can't find seats still. The lady just said anything and started a riot for no reason.
What we've got to do, and I know this isn't something you all want to hear, but we're going to have to gather our belongings and exit the aircraft at this moment. Appreciate civility. I understand this is not what you want to hear. We wanted to get you out, Philly. We wanted to get there. We just can't legally operate because of our duty has been so long.
Now they're saying they may have to book us for another day, but we have to go get our luggages.
Shoulders, they will all be on Carousel 3. All your luggages will be on Carousel 3. Nothing for you at this moment. So 3, if you would like to inquire about your flight, you will go to the Frontier ticket counter. But everybody will exit this gate area.
Frontier Airlines canceled and repeatedly delayed.
Okay, so I'm really not holding myself together right now. We just got to Houston and they can't find a captain for our flight. So we're gonna be here till at least 4:10, and then I'll probably miss my connecting flight in Newark. So this is the 4th flight that they have screwed up. My first flight today was delayed as well, but I was able to make it here. So my first flight was canceled due to weather. My second flight was canceled because of a drunk guy on the plane. My third flight was canceled because they couldn't find crew. Like, I cannot do this anymore. I'm traveling with my son who has autism, and this is too much. Okay, so I'm really not.
And it's absolutely insane. So for days now, flights have been canceled, delayed left and right. The other day I was in the airport in Chicago. There were more flights canceled and delayed than there were flights going out on time. Now, from my understanding, this all started a few days ago whenever there was bad weather in the northeast coast in Newark, but there's bad weather all the time, and we always fly around it or we figure it out. So I don't understand why this is so different. We have flight attendants who have been lost in the system and stranded in random cities without hotel rooms for days now. They're literally sleeping on cots in the airport. What a lot of people don't understand is that we don't really have bosses or managers that we talk to. We have to call a system called crew scheduling if we have anything wrong with our schedule, and they're supposed to fix it. But right now, the wait times are hours. I waited 9 hours the other day and nobody ever answered the phone. So just imagine you get somewhere to a random airport, your flight is canceled, you don't have a hotel, you don't have a taxi to the hotel, you're supposed to call this system, and then you wait on hold for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. If you're lucky, they will pick up and you get a hotel. Anyways, that's just a little rant from a flight attendant, but seriously warning you guys, if you can avoid flying for the next few days, please do so, because most likely your flight's going to get delayed or canceled, and it's not.
All praises and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem HaBrakakwadash. Double honors to our apostle elders which rule Great Millstone Well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. May you endure into the end. Shalom. And Abba Babal. Alright, so this next video is going to explain a little more detail about this cancellation plague that's taken over the airports of America. Alright, where flights are being canceled at a high level during the so-called holidays of Babylon, 4th of July, which would be the birth of America, which they claim that America was, created in 1776, July 4th, right? So they got a bunch of people going all over to be with their families for this period of time, right? Which is supposed to be a celebration, but they're having a crisis in the airports of all the flights being canceled, all right? Which is a plague upon this place, okay? And they're blaming the weather so that they could blame the act of God, which the true God is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, our Messiah, the Savior of Israel. The Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the indigenous people of North, Central, South, and the Caribbeans of America. Okay? So let me go ahead and let this play. But at the end, I'm going to stop it because the announcer says something very important. He tells you, who's really doing it is the government. And what they did was they're canceling out the ability for people to fly. All right? With their laws, they're pretty much shutting down these airports, stopping the people from flying. Remember, they said in July they were going to transfer this system into a new currency. So this is the beginning of that new world order, which it was really declared from a long time ago. It's part of prophecy that this new world order will come at the last days, all right, and the Lord would return and fight for us, the Israelites, all right, the faithful ones.
We begin tonight with powerful storms pounding the East Coast, causing another day of headaches for airlines and thousands of passengers. Airports in the Northeast were filled with long lines and frustrated travelers who faced hundreds of delays and cancellations today due to the weather. The domino effect has been felt at airports nationwide this week, with more than 23,000 flight delays and more than 5,000 cancellations since Sunday. From the thunderstorms and torrential rains in the Northeast to the record-breaking temperatures from Texas to Florida, nearly...
See, and this is how you know they're bullshitting. What the hell does the heat have to do with them not being able to fly? Right? Because people fly to Vegas, people fly to hot places on the earth all the time. Right? What they're doing is they're using the act of God is what it's called, so that they don't have to reimburse these people their money. See, which it is an act of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai that all this happens. He's shutting down Babylon. All right, Babylon is being shut down. All right, soon it's going to be destroyed. This is Isaiah 14. All right, for Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. Once again, the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the indigenous people of North, Central, South America, and that includes the Caribbean, all right? From the Eskimo to the Jamaican, all right, those people are the Israelite, all the way down to the south end of America, the southern and the South America, all right? The Negroid and indigenous people are the biblical Hebrew Israelites that have been scattered throughout the world and set them in their own land. Okay, our land is Israel, and you have a bastard in Ashdod. And the strangers, the Israelite foreigners, which don't know they're Israelites, shall be joined with them, or if they do, they're not all the way in the truth. But at the end of this, they're going to cleave to the house of Israel, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Jacob, he got his name changed, but, wrestling an angel, he wouldn't give up. His name was changed to Israel, Yasha Allah, and we are the princes of power. We are his sons. Esau, Edom, the son of Isaac also, which Jacob was the son of Isaac. They're twin brothers, Jacob and Esau. Esau being the elder, all right? Esau was born as like a albino. He was the first so-called white man. He was Cain reincarnated. Cain killed his brother Abel, and the Lord took his pigment from him. And when he died, all right, the Canaanites, not the Canaanites, but the Cain, Cainites, all right, they died in the flood, all right. Well, when they came back, reincarnation is in the Bible. It's the truth. When they came back as Esau, as an albino, already lacking the melanin from when Cain killed his brother Abel. That was the curse on Cain. All right. And Esau, his children, are the wicked. The Edomites, the so-called Caucasians today that are ruling the world, destroying everything. All right. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. And that's really what's about to happen. We're about to have these heathen as slaves in the land of Israel. It says, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So wherever you're at, brothers, whatever nation is ruling over you, we're going to have them in subjection soon. And it shall come to pass. In fact, this kind of events, what we're going in about the planes being delayed and canceled because of the extreme weather, this is a sign of us getting closer to us having them as slaves. It says, and it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, right? Because we're suffering. And from thy fear of what? Fear of being killed by the so-called white man, put in prison under the so-called white man, or whoever the nation may be. The Israelite is the prey, and the heathen are like the predator, starting with the so-called white man. All right? It says, and from the hard bondage, which they made us slaves, right? They're trying to bring us into a new form of slavery. Right now, we're slaves subject to payment, but they want to put a implantable microchip inside our bodies for buying and selling, which is an abomination. Wherein thou was made to serve, right? We were made to serve the slavery because we sinned. But now we're coming out of the slavery because we're repenting by the grace and mercy of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, which the king of Babylon is Esau, dealing with their elite class, and say, how had the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? So how has this city come to a standstill? No jobs, the homeless situation, right? Plague after plague after plague after plague after plague, and more to come. What is going on? It says, Yahweh have broken the staff of the wicked and the sceptre of the rulers. And see, a staff is used to lead. And the so-called white man uses America with Jake, right? Jake, they use the talent of Jake in America to lead the world, all right? And what the devil's going to do is lead the world into destruction. He's going to demand that everyone have a implantable microchip put in them, which is an abomination, which brings forth the judgment, which is the nuclear destruction of America. All right, but the elect, the hopeful elect, which there's going to be a innumerable amount of Israelites, 1/3 of the nation of Israel in America, that are going to be saved. All right, Yahushua is going to save them.
Northeast to the record-breaking temperatures from Texas to Florida. Nearly 90 million Americans are under heat alerts tonight, with triple-digit feels-like temperatures expected in parts of at least 10 states on Wednesday, including the entire state of Texas. CBS's Errol Barnett is at Newark Airport, which is the hardest hit by these delays and cancellations. Good evening, Errol.
Good evening, Nora. The people you see behind me are United Airlines passengers with canceled flights. They've been waiting for hours in this line behind me, which stretches down the terminal for a confirmed flight, most of them just trying to get home. But the current projections are flight conditions won't improve anytime soon.
Come on, this is like the Disney World line from hell here.
It is yet another.
And if you heard what he said, it's not going to get any better anytime soon, because there's no remedy. It's going to just get worse and worse and worse until America is wiped off the face of the earth by nuclear destruction at the returning of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, according to biblical prophecy.
Another travel meltdown.
I feel gross. I feel like I want to cry, but I have nothing left.
Several days of severe weather causing chaos at airports, especially in the Northeast.
These folks over here have been waiting for at least 5 hours to get to the point where they are.
And they're blaming the weather, but I'm telling you, I've flown through some extreme weather. I've flown through snowstorms, and you know, you'll get turbulence, but they'll fly it. They even got equipment to defrost the plane, because the plane will actually build ice on it, and for it to fly, they got to take all that ice off before you fly through the snow. And what they'll do is they'll have cannons on a vehicle to spray antifreeze on it to melt the ice on the plane. All right, so they're actually blaming the act of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, because it really is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai that's doing all this. He's using the so-called white man, the devil that rules the world, because who controls the airports? Who has the power to stop these planes from going up in the air on earth? It's the so-called white man. They're the ones that approve these things, right? So the Lord's taking that authority away from them. They're losing their power. It tells you that in Obadiah, that he's pretty much destroying the wisest of Esau, Teman. It says in verse 9, it says, well, I'll start at 8, Obadiah 8. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? Once again, Esau is the so-called Caucasian. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. And this is why the devil's going to come down with great wrath. He's seen it. He has the pangs, the prophets in his ear telling him he's about to be destroyed. And he's seeing it. He's seeing his kingdom crumbling. Soon he's going to, pretty much pull, no stops and bring out that implantable microchip and make it mandatory, which you're going to be in full-blown Jacob's trouble. All right? But the elect will be saved out of it. That's why you're going to have the Israelites that join themselves to the elect men, them that are sighing and crying and prophesying.
5 hours to get to the point where they are.
United Airlines hit the hardest, with roughly 150,000 passengers impacted since the weekend. Thousands have been stranded at Newark Airport, like Christian Weaver. She's been stuck since Saturday, traveling with her diabetic mother, who is down to her last syringe.
I know my mother, and I know how weak she can get if she doesn't have her medicine. She needs this. It's not a want, it's a need.
Partly to blame is a series of thunderstorm systems leading to torrential rains and flash flooding across parts of New Jersey and Pennsylvania, with wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. In the South, dangerous heat is raising concerns. Omar Villafranca is in Texas.
And planes, they handle that heat, all right? They land in warm areas all the time, right? I could go from America, where it's known, to the other side of the world where it's hot, right? In a tropical island. And that plane should be able to go from freezing, like I said, on the runway, to changing to a warm, atmosphere, a warm climate. So they're lying to the people. Obviously, these people are dumbed down. There's no more common sense in them, right? They've already been taken by the serpent and his venom. Soon the devil is going to come with this implantable microchip and make it mandatory for buying and selling. And that is an abomination. You will be condemned to the lake of fire. Your death will be by fire at the return of Yahushua.
On the Texas Gulf Coast and here in North Texas, the heat index is in the triple digits. There is not a cloud in the sky. People are flocking to pools and splash pads to try to beat the heat.
We're trying to do something to cool the kids down, but also get them out of the house.
Down the road in Dallas, where it feels like 109 degrees, the city has seen an increase in heat-related calls as the temperatures rise.
Y'all need some cold stuff?
In San Antonio, Pete Barrera is making sure some of the city's homeless population has access to cooling rags and water as the heat index hits 106 degrees.
That could be life-saving. Some of them are so dry that as soon as they grab that water, they're drinking the whole bottle in one chug.
Back in New Jersey, airlines are struggling to rebook passengers because they are flying at near capacity. Now, all airlines are impacted, but one of them is blaming the government partly for this chaos. United...
You hear that? They're blaming the government for this chaos. One of them is coming out and telling you the truth, that the government is shutting it down. All right, this is part of that when they gave their politicians the satellite phones. All right, they're going to shut this place down, all right, to try to bring chaos so that they could bring their new world order. It tells you in 2 Ezra 15 that people are going to desire to want to go into another city and they won't be allowed to. All right. Which I played that video of that female flight attendant, and she's saying that people are being left, they're landing their plane. Say you got a, jump spot from one state to the other to go to another flight, right? You got a layover in a different state. They're actually abandoning people in different states because they're saying limited also on pilots. They don't have enough pilots. When you look it up in Google, they have almost 700,000 pilots, they claim, right? And there's only 100,000 flights in the world a day. So they should have plenty of pilots, but they're also saying they're running out of pilots, which we that are in the truth, we know that a lot of these people, they took that venom and it's catching up with them, all right? It tells you in 2 Ezra 15 that a man would want to go into another city. It says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because you're going to have pretty much martial law declared on America. And this is going to happen worldwide, but America is going to be the worst. All right. It says, for because of their pride, the pride of the so-called white men, the city shall be troubled. And the reason I say the so-called white men, because they are the ones that are ruling the world. They are the ones in control of the resources. They are the ones that the condition of the earth right now as it is, it's on their shoulders. It's on their head. They've caused this problem. All right. Now it's all goes back to Israel, because we're the beginning of all these things. We sinned and went into captivity. Now we are repenting, and this is why now the Lord is looking upon Esau and his sin. All right. It says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, Jacob's trouble. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And this is going to happen. There's going to be a lack of bread because, there's planes that actually fly goods into different places, right? Trains. There's different things that are happening all over the America, Babylon the Great, who are to be destroyed, and it's being destroyed right in front of our eyes. And soon they're going to be nuked right off the face of the earth by the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He's going to use the devil, the so-called white man, and that great sword that he gave him, the nuclear missile, to destroy his own kingdom, America, right? And even all the merchants, they're going to weep that see this, when they see the smoke of America going up after being wiped off the face of the earth. They're going to cry, because America was that consuming country that made all these other nations rich, because America had such an appetite. All right? But now they're going to be in famine, and the people are going to be killing each other. That's what's about to happen. These people in America, they're about to literally start killing their neighbor for bread, killing eat their dog and eating it, killing their children and eating it, killing their family, their wife, and eating them, or the other way around. All right? Because in 2023, the year that we pray to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, all these prophecies be fulfilled. All right, you got women that are, they're damn near almost like men. In this wicked ass society, you got men that are like women, and women like men. So, there's a lot of abominations taking place, and the Lord is bringing judgment on it. All praises and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua B'Shem HaBakakadash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which taught us the truth, that ruled great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abba.